Hey, hey, everyone. No, in case you're wondering, I'm not dancing. There is no music playing, but I do have music in my head. How are you? How's everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time watching me, I'm Hannah Bianca Gant, and I have umpteenth years of experience in human resources. So I frequently come and do these videos and share with either career professionals, business owners, as well as other HR superstars that might be looking into starting their own HR consulting company. So that's what today's video is about. Today's video is specifically for those who have a background in human resources and they are tired of being their job's best kept secret. They're like, you know what? I think I can do what I'm doing for this employer. I think I can do this for multiple clients. If that's you, this video is for you. Welcome. You are at home. So again, my name is Hannah Bianca Gant. I am the founder and chief human resources officer at Career Image Solutions. You want to know more information about us? Check us out at www.career-image.com. I have the plum pleasing pleasure of working with a number of different clients, career professionals to date. We've served 500 plus career professionals. We've trained thousands of individuals, and now we are working with clients that are from business. We're working with businesses that are just getting started, from startups to multi-million-dollar companies. So hopefully my experience is going to afford you some opportunity to either not go down the same path that I went in terms of all of the mistakes that I've made. I remember when I first got started, my HR consulting company, I didn't really have anyone to look to. So that's, again, the reason why I started doing these videos today. Listen, I get a lot of phone calls, emails, YouTube chats, and I do check my YouTube videos. So if you have any comments, make sure you post them below. But one of the questions I'm always getting is about, like, how do I get new clients? How do I get new clients? And we go over that in a program that I called an HRpreneur boot camp. But it's a 4 to 6 week program where I literally help individuals that are looking to get started, that are looking to launch out and get their own HR consulting business, or they might have already incorporated their business, but they just need some formality, some structure. So in those 4 to 6 weeks, we literally go through some boot camp, and it is boot camp for real, taking them from beginning to end, so that way they have everything that they need in order to get their first client or continue working at an optimum level with their existing clients. So I literally just finished one of our sessions. With one of our clients, HRpreneur superstars, and I thought I would do this video because I know this is something that I didn't know, and in order for you to get your new clients, you can't just get clients. Like, you shouldn't just be doing work for clients without having documents in place. Now, my family always tells me that I should have gone to school for law, but I feel like HR is law in some respect anyway. So I feel like I still did them justice. But I say all that to say, there are some documents that if you are going to effectively work as an HR consultant on behalf of other companies, on behalf of other clients, you want to make sure that you have some documents in place, because once you start engaging in business, it now becomes a legal agreement, whether it's verbally or whether it's written. But I'm just proposing that everything that you do is in writing. And again, that's something that I just didn't know when I got started, and there were a lot of things that I probably could have avoided if I had some of these things, if I had these things that I'm about to share with you. Also, I want to make sure I share with you up front that some of the documents I'm going to share with you all are legal documents, but I am not an attorney. I always recommend for individuals to go and make sure that you get your documents reviewed by an attorney of your choice. If you want more information about attorney services, definitely feel free to reach out to our team at services@career-image.com. We will share with you who we use. But anyway, let me get right into it. So first, document that I believe that all HRpreneurs, all HR consultants need is an independent contractor agreement. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this, because in my boot camp, this question comes up a whole lot. People ask me questions like, oh, do I have to have a business name in order to provide HR consulting for clients? And the reality, the short answer to that is no, you don't have to have a business name, but you want to make sure that you are consulting with your tax advisor regarding the best way to engage in business, right, with other clients. Because if you don't have a business name, that means you are an independent contractor. God bless me. Excuse me. This is a live video, by the way, so no pre-recording here. One of the disadvantages of talking through a video, no one can say God bless you back. Okay, going back to the independent contractor agreement. So if you do not have a business name, you would have an independent contractor agreement, which means that your name would be, it wouldn't be a business name, it would be your name in the agreement that's saying, hey, ABC company is contracting this person's name, your name, Hennifer Gant, to conduct the following services. Now, I think that this document is very important. I had it reviewed by our attorneys, and it's always evolving, because some of the things that I had there, 3 years ago, I've totally revamped today. Just because, again, the scope of services has just changed. But I do believe that every HR consultant, if you are starting your own HR consulting business, you have to have an independent contractor agreement, especially if you don't have a business name, Now, again, if you have a business name, you could still use an independent contractor agreement, but I call it something different, which I'll get to in just a second. So again, I'm not a legal advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. You want to make sure that you contact your legal advisor and your tax advisor if you have any questions. If you need resources about who we use, I can definitely forward you that information if you email us at services@career-image.com. All right, independent contractor agreement. One of the things that I feel like needs to be, again, things that have worked for me, in our independent contract agreement, you want to make sure that you have your scope of work. So your scope of work are the things that you and the client agreed that you would work on, right? So you want to make sure that that is included. Okay, the scope of work needs to be in your independent contract agreement. Also, the duration of the project. Now, again, there are some clients. We have clients that have us on retainer. But I always put a duration. I know some people, again, when I was talking to some other individuals in different industries, not necessarily HR, they're like, oh yeah, we want people to work, we don't put a duration because we want them to work with us forever. And it's like, that's great. But I have found that I don't always want to work with people forever. That's another story for another day. Like, how do you end client relationships, right? But I've had to do that. I don't want to work with everyone forever. So I like putting durations of the project, even if there is an anticipation of the duration and that timeline increasing. I still put a duration there, and then a duration just meaning a start and an end date. Because again, I might not want to work with them. They might no longer want to work with us. And frankly, this is something else that I've learned, is that sometimes you find out that you're doing more work than you anticipated. So you might have to increase the prices. So again, having a duration allows you to revise some of that information if you need to. In addition to that, I put the project deliverables that they should expect to receive. So whether it's an employee manual, whether it's a labor law postage, whether it's X amount of hours of consultation, whatever it is. And again, I still use some type of agreement, whether clients are using Career Image Solutions for project work or for long-term assignments. So some clients outsource us as their HR. Some clients use us for their, just specific projects, maybe just a dual employee manual. And then we also support other organizations that have HR already, and we just kind of work as their support. So for things that they can't necessarily do, they don't have time to do, those solo HR shops. So the project deliverables, we make sure that is spelled out in our independent contractor agreements. Also, the number of resources that would be provided. So if you know that you are going to need more than one person to assist you with that, say that up front in your agreement, because it lets the person know, like, hey, this is why this is the price, because I'm going to need some additional support. Now, you don't necessarily have to tell them who that support is. It could be your intern. It could be working with another HR consultant with us. Would not mind that at all. But you want to let them know, like, hey, this is going to require X amount of resources in order to fulfill this project, in order to fulfill this ongoing commitment to providing HR services in an excellent manner. And then also, believe it or not, the supplies, like who's going to pay for the supplies, because what you might find is, like, sometimes we'll also provide training, compliance training for some of our clients, and you want to include that up front, so that way it's no surprise that if we do provide compliance training for your organization, then you're responsible for blah, 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 and we're responsible for blah, blah, blah. So you want to spell all of that up front. So again, all of that should be in your independent contract agreement. And of course, you want to make sure that the fee is in the independent contract agreement. And, if you are charging a flat rate for something, you want to make sure that you spell out what the additional fees will be if it goes beyond what the original agreement was, right? You want to make sure that you're saying that up front. So again, all of those things in an independent contractor agreement. So again, if you are starting an HR consulting company, but you're not incorporated, you definitely want to make sure that you have an independent contractor agreement. If you have a business, I use what I call an HR business services agreement, and essentially it functions just like an independent contractor agreement, but it just lets them know. I actually spell out a little bit more things, and in that particular document, it speaks on the behalf of the company and not on the behalf of an individual, right? So when we engage with client services, it's not Henneth or Gant that you're working with the company. So because you're working with the company, you could work with any one of our HR consultants at any given time. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. That's, again, I'm an engaging interactive trainer. So I find myself even in videos saying, does that make sense? Knowing that you all can't talk back to me right now. So if it makes sense and you're watching, let me know that it makes sense. Just put in the comment section below. And then independent contractor agreement is one document. HR business services agreement is another document. Okay. Again, HR business services agreement, just you want to include some of the same things there, but you're just that agreement is just speaking on behalf of the company. Okay. And then sometimes I'll even put, like, if there are phases to the project, I'll put, like, with each phase, I love agreements. I love templates. I love processes. I love documents. That's just the type of person I am. I just also happen to love people. Some people that love processes and all that stuff, they usually don't like interacting with people. I actually enjoy both. So this is like my thing. I'm like going through it. I love putting this stuff together. So those are the two documents. The third document that you're going to need if you are starting an HR consulting business is an HR invoice. So I cannot begin to tell you how people have called me like, oh my gosh, I just realized, like, I got this client, but, like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do next. So what you do next is you send them your agreement, right? You have them sign that agreement. I have my clients sign them electronically, and I use this particular type of software for them to sign electronically. But you want to make sure that you are sending that invoice as well. Hello. So you can send them electronic invoices through some type of payment system. We've done quite a few extensive research on the best type of invoicing systems, and they're still changing. So this is 2019 when I'm doing this video. If you end up watching this 3 years from now, trust me, the invoicing systems are going to be completely different. So just know that. But you want to at least make sure that you have some type of invoicing, whether you do, even if you don't have an invoicing system, because most of those systems do cost. I'm just going to say that to you up front. But you can utilize you could do it manually, so if you don't have the money to do all of those things, you can just create your own invoice and email the client and say, hey, could you take care of this invoice? And I was getting paid by checks for a very long time. So yeah, our clients were mailing us checks for a very long time. So, don't feel like that's outdated. I mean, it is kind of outdated, to be honest, but it still works. There are still organizations that prefer to cut checks versus paying you electronically. Like now that when I do business, like with state governments, local governments, federal government, they use their own type of system. And some of those government, depending on the state, they still cut checks. So I'm not going to say, hey, I'm not going to accept your check. No, you can pay me, but you still have to provide them with an invoice. So that's the third document. You want to make sure that you have a standardized invoice. You want to make sure that you have that up front, so that way you aren't spending an extra 2 hours when the client is saying, hey, they're ready to go, and you don't have these documents in place. Again, that was me years ago. I remember when we first got our first client, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know how to do the work, but what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to send them, right? So again, hopefully you put these documents in place. I know that these things will help you, and you'll feel more confident, more prepared when that client comes aboard. The fourth document is your client services survey. So that's something that, that's like my bonus. That's not something these things aren't anything. I wasn't trained on this. It's just kind of, I learned as I went along. And with the client services survey, it's just something that I like to do, like on a monthly basis. And I also keep track of accomplishments of things that we've accomplished on behalf of the client. But that's probably another video for another day. But a client services survey. So again, just asking them about their feedback, and I ask specific questions on how we did, who they worked with, what we could do better. And I also use it as a marketing tool as well, because I ask, again, specific questions in our survey. And it has become super, super, super valuable. And in fact, that's one of our secret gems into getting new business, by the way. So if this video was helpful to you, please let me know. Comment below. Let me know that I'm not just talking to myself. I know that I am not the only. I've had a chance to meet many of you that watch my videos now and engage with some of you. So I know that I'm not the only one anymore that is trying to figure out this HR consulting business thing. And it's just because I've been in it for a few years now, I'm able to speak on a number of things about the business in HR. So not necessarily, I'm not going to teach you all how to do HR, right? But if you are looking to start your HR consulting company, there are a lot of business things that you now have to learn. You can be an expert at HR compliance, but it does not mean that you know how to run a business. So my purpose is to be able to walk you through some of the things that I've learned along the way in order for you to have an effective, fruitful, and profitable HR consulting company, regardless of the services that you provide. So again, let me just do a recap for you. So you want to make sure that you have the following documents if you are starting your HR consulting business. First document is the independent contractor agreement. I went over all the things that need to be included in that. If you do not have a business name, you want to make sure that you have an independent contract agreement. If you have a business name, you might want to consider renaming it HR Business Services Agreement. And I talked about the different things that need to go into that: the scope of work, duration of project, the project deliverables, the number of resources, the supplies, and also the amount that you are charging. You want to make sure that you have whether you are using some type of system or you just have a template, a document of what you're going to use. You want to make sure that you have that in place. And then you want to make sure that you have your client services survey. Again, there are maybe 3 additional forms that we use, but I just wanted to at least make sure that you had the forms that you need to get started right away to get your HR consulting business started off the ground. So again, it doesn't take much, but the little things that you don't do can sometimes provide some hindrances and obstacles in order for you to have a fruitful company. And again, these are just the things that I've learned. I wasted a lot of time. I wouldn't say I wasted a lot of time. I can talk to you all about these things now because of that time that I made just so many mistakes. And now I'm able to give you all, some of that feedback. So again, hopefully this information was helpful to you. Comment below. Let me know what questions you might have. If you want to connect with me directly, you want to email services@career-image.com, and we will provide you with a link to get on the calendar so we can make sure that we can, chat with you. I've spoken to many of you these past few weeks, and I'm so happy to actually talk and meet with some of the people that are watching the videos. I think that's just super cool. If you are local in the DMV area, you want to make sure that you stay connected on social media. We took a hiatus over the summer, but you want to make sure that you are connecting to our newsletters, and you can do that by going to bit.ly/HRpreneurs, and that's all caps. So HRPRENEURS. So bit.ly/HRpreneurs. You want to make sure that you are subscribing to our newsletter. Stay connected because I'm out and about, especially if you're local in the DMV area, and we'll be traveling also throughout the rest of this year. So stay connected. I would love to meet you. If you want to get documents on your own, if you're like, hey, listen, can you just share the documents that you use? I would be more than happy to do so. Believe it or not, these documents I actually provide for individuals that take our HRpreneur Bootcamp session. It's included in as part of the program. Again, that's our 4 to 6 week program where I walk individuals. You will work directly with me. I'll walk you through beginning to end on everything that you need to have in place to get your next client or to continue functioning in the most optimum way in your HR consulting business. But so clearly, I'm not going to be able to give these documents away for free because people do pay for these documents through part of the program. But if you are interested in getting these documents for your own HR consulting company, you're more than welcome to do so. I have the link in the description below, so make sure you just check it out. If you have more questions about it, go ahead and send us an email, services@career-image.com, services@career-image. Did I say that right? Yes, services@career-image.com, and a member of the team will be able to help you with that if you have any questions. So part of those the documents that you will get by selecting on the link below, you'll get that automatically within the next business day, if not sooner. You will get the sample independent contractor agreement. You will get the HR business services agreement. You will get a template for the HR invoice. You will also get the client services survey questions that we use. And as a bonus, if you end up getting this during a particular time frame, you will also get the new client form that we use. So in order, we figure out and we weed out the clients that we want to work with versus the clients that we don't, because we don't work with everyone. And again, it doesn't mean that it's anything wrong with them, but maybe we're not the best person to work with them. So if we don't have anyone in-house, we'd like to refer them to people that are in our network. So that's our new client form. And then in addition to that, if you end up getting this HR starter kit, we will also throw in there a referral agreement template. So sometimes you might be collaborating with other HR professionals. Sometimes you might be hiring someone to work with you. You want to make sure that you have that agreement in place as well. So we have a referral agreement template that's also going to be included. So you just click on the link below, get started, and we will make sure that we send those templates to you, and you literally can use those documents right away. You can begin to use that for your HR consulting company. You just will need to go in and tailor it towards your own company name and put your name in. And if you have any questions, again, make sure you reach out to me at services@career-image.com. Again, want to preface and saying again that I am not an attorney and I am not a tax advisor. So if you are doing this on your own, you want to make sure that you get your documents reviewed to ensure that you have all of the things necessary in your agreements according to your state, according to your county. And if you want some of those, if you want resources on the individuals that we use, the law firm that we use does have offices throughout the United States and in Canada, by the way. So if you want those resources, definitely let me know. If you need some tax assistance, let me know. We have some people in our network that could probably help you with that as well. So until next time, everyone, do not forget to command your day. I hope this video was helpful to you. Let me know. Provide me with some feedback. Make sure you do some likes, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thanks again, everyone. Talk to you soon.